Let me ask you, Catherine, about direct evidence linking Donald Trump to this stuff. Pecker's testifying about conversations he's had directly with Donald Trump. He's testifying to what Donald Trump has told him. There's a moment where a Wall Street Journal article comes out about Karen McDougal, and I'm stealing Andrew Weissman's computer for this, but Pecker says Donald Trump was very upset, saying, "How could this happen? I thought you had this under control. Either you or one of your people have leaked this story." And Pecker said to Trump, I said, "Donald, there was no way on earth I would leak the story."
It's very good. It's direct evidence. I was in Supreme Court land earlier. So I was thinking of the defense perspective. I heard that Cohen said the boss will take care of it. Michael Cohen came to Pecker. So this sort of feeds into the defense. Cohen did it. And so I'm wondering how much testimony Pecker has given where it was directed to do things by the boss Trump as opposed to Cohen. But a lot of what he has talked about with his interaction with Trump, I think, sort of helps prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Trump himself had the intent to commit or conceal that other crime.
Including a phone call between David Pecker and Donald Trump 3 days before the election.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And afterwards saying, "Thank you for helping me on the election." Right? I mean, so it ties it to the campaign.
Yeah, not Melania.
It shows that he knows what's going on. You don't have him saying, one of the things you do when you're in the prosecution is you ask the jury in closing, imagine that you had an innocent person. Ask what they would be saying at this time. They would be saying to Mr. Pecker, "What are you talking about? What scheme to buy stories?" You would be, if you thought it was only to save from Melania, you would be saying, "Okay, there was a scheme, but obviously we have to keep it up now because I'm concerned about my wife." In other words, you say, what would you be saying if the defense was right? Does the evidence fit with that story?
How does Blanche cross-examine Pecker?
He's going to, he can do the "you're a sleaze bag," but basically Pecker's admitted to it. He's owned it. I did checkbook journalism. I did that. So what he's going to try to do is what I said. How much was it him and Cohen directing everything as opposed to my innocent client, Donald Trump? That's his only way of doing that. Even that tape, which people say is the bombshell, unless we've only heard an excerpt of it, Cohen is saying when Trump says cash, he says, no, I got it. So that's the defense perspective. So that's their only chance because they can go and, and you've lied because your whole career is just putting lies. So you're liar. But it speaks for itself if you can corroborate what Pecker is saying, Cohen is saying, and all the other documents.
You also have any number of people who have been in the courtroom who have described him as credible that people seem to be paying very close attention.
He's his authentic self.
It's a very difficult cross, and just to build on what Catherine said, because I think you have to do that. You have to keep on sort of putting Michael Cohen as central as possible. But the other is to do what's called a safe cross, which is just to point out what he hasn't testified to. So, if he doesn't say anything about the actual 34 false documents that are at the core, just to say, you didn't say anything about that. You didn't know when they were created. You didn't see them. You don't know who signed them. Just to bring the jury back to that, to say, okay, well, there's this story, but let's just focus on something very specific. And that's sort of a safe cross because this is somebody who, you don't know what else he has. And, that's notable, as many people have pointed out, that Donald Trump has attacked lots of people in the court system, but not this witness.